Tantra speaks of a profound journey, the journey from Jeeva to Shiv, from the individual soul moving through the layers of experience towards its own vastness, towards its own source. And that is the path of expansion from limited to unlimited, from fragmented identity to cosmic wholeness. The journey of Tantra is not a detour from life, it is very much life itself, and awakened to its fullness. The art of making the unseen visible, the art of making the dormant alive, the art of making the ordinary luminous. At the heart of this journey, individual journey, there is a divine dance. And consciousness is that still access the Shiv, the witness, which is the ground. And life is the movement, an expansion, an unfolding, and creative. That is Shakti, the pulse, the radiance. And when these two embrace, Shiv and Shakti embrace, Kala arises. The radiance of life in its highest expression. Kala is the flowering of that potential. The music of energy moving through silence. The precision behind a painter's brush. The grace of a dancer leaping. The genius behind a sudden insight. Tantra teaches us to live in fullness, recognizing the sacred play of consciousness within every experience. Tantra offers tools of jnana, inner wisdom, and transcendental acts like mantra, mudra, meditative rituals that helps to manifest what lies latent within us. And through these, the hidden becomes seen, the veiled becomes known, the individual becomes vast. Now, of course, Tantra also guides us through earth or meaning and value, not just wealth, Tattva or the cosmic principle, objective side of existence. And the mantra becomes the vibrational power or the sound of the consciousness that becomes the subjective aspect of the reality, the Sadashiv. And together, this objective and subjective forms a complete vision, meaning, structure, and awareness comes together. And through practice and contemplation, a deeper knowing arises. A meta knowledge arises, which is not just mere facts, but a resonance with how the whole universe works. Now, as we awaken, it doesn't happen that all clarity becomes evident at once. One passes through certain layers, and these layers are also important to understand. And these layers or veils are not like a mistake or anything, they are refinements or like a lens of a camera shaping with to see what is to be seen. And each of these Kanchuk, as it is called, helps in conscious the consciousness to play its role in this whole theater of life. Now, Kala is one. When the infinite power takes the boundless and powerful infinity like ocean. Now ocean when the ocean starts to flow through a narrow channel or a river, a stream or a wave. So then that becomes the kala, a manifestation or a narrowing of that infinite. Kala is what allows the infinite energy to take a specific direction or form. It can give in human life a focus or a creativity, like a writer choosing good word, or a sculpture chiseling a stone nicely, or a skill or artistry. But and when that happens, one forgets that it is the ocean infinite where it is coming from. And Kala is not just this. There are apart from this fine arts, there is whole cosmic Kala of the whole creation or the fabric of this matrix or the universe. And that also becomes evidence in the path of Siddha Tantra. And the second is the Vidya, the limited or localized knowledge, consciousness that knows everything. When that becomes localized, that becomes a Vidya. Beginning to know this, but that is not that. Distinguishing, like a doctor understanding health, or an architect working with space, or a musician hearing a note that or a tone that often others miss. A specialized form of knowledge, and we may gain clarity in some area, but one forgets that easy to forget that there's a vast field of knowing that still lives within us. And this narrowing does help us function in society, but our deeper self remains far more expansive. And the third sheath is the rag, or the emergence of desires and attachment. This is where the consciousness begins to long for experience, like a baby reaching for the mother, or a heart aching for love, a mind dreaming for creation. Now we desire and become attached, we form stories, connections, and relationships. Rag often gives a depth to our journey. It can lead to art, to family, to beauty, and to even service. Rag can create emotional highs and lows. Yet, beneath all this, the desire for union, for oneness, and for that original fullness is there. The fourth aspect that manifests is the kal, or the experience of time. The eternity becomes measured, and the timeless becomes a timeline. Past, present, and the future appears. We begin to think in moments and sequences, deadlines, memories, aging, waiting. And time creates a rhythm. Time allows us to evolve and grow, but it also creates a sense of pressure. Carl teaches us how to live in cycles, how to value each moment. Every moment is alive. Then the fifth Kanchuk is the Niyati, or the force of order or structure. Now, this is the thread that weaves together all actions and consequence of the action and all patterns. It's the intelligence in the nature behind why things happen the way they do. It is the niyati that governs the karma, natural laws, the genetic memory, the ancestral rhythms. Niyati brings stability to the flow of life, ensures that the energy of the Shakti moves in meaningful way. Life is neither random nor fixed. It is shaped by our choices and our awareness, subtle patterns of the cosmos. And these five Kanchuk give form to the formless. It's not a imprisonment or ignorance. It is through these five that experience becomes possible. It is when the Shiv appears as a Jeev, as a being with a name and a story and a body and a purpose. And yet, the journey doesn't end there. At every stage, the path of returning, the path of Shiv is still alive. We do not need to reject to find Shiv or self. When one begins to see the structure of the veils that we talked and how to walk through them, going beyond fear in awareness and understanding, in presence, then one starts to act with a deeper presence and source, and the creativity expands. The knowledge becomes more intuitive, and the desire becomes more aligned. Our sense of time becomes sacred, and the flow of life starts to feel like a divine unfolding. And that is the way of Tantra. The journey where the Jeev, a limited identity, begins to remember it has always been Shiv, consciousness itself, awake, embodied and aware. To live with Tantra is to live with the eye open to the mystery and the heart open for transforming. To live Tantra is to live with a body aligned with spirit. Tantra is an embodied life, an embodied philosophy.